Okay, I've been meaning to do a video on this, so this is like the perfect time with this comment. This person thinks that what Carney was saying to Trump was not an insult, it was genuine praise and admiration. So let's go over the transcript of what he actually said, and we'll see whether or not any of it was actually praise and admiration. So the first thing he says is, "Thank you for your hospitality and above all your leadership." Okay, obviously you're going to thank somebody for allowing you to, come and treat them nicely and stuff like that. Above all, your leadership. He doesn't say good leadership. If anything, Carney is thanking Trump because he's such a bad leader that it helped Carney win. The fear that Canada could turn into the United States under Pierre Poilievre, because of all the shit that Trump's been doing, is what helped Carney win. He's thanking Trump for being a bad fucking leader in that little comment right there. Because he does not say your good leadership, your amazing leadership, nothing. He just says your leadership. Then he says you're a transformative president. Doesn't say good. Transformative can mean bad. And that's exactly what it meant. Donald Trump is transforming the United States into a fucking nightmare. It is a shithole. People are being grabbed off the streets and thrown into faraway jails, never to return. The economy's tanking. He's telling people that they're not going to be able to afford Christmas presents and pencils and dolls and stuff. The rich guy is telling the middle class that they're not going to be able to afford anything and they're going to be happy about it and they're going to be fine with it. Then he says, focus on the economy with a relentless focus on the American worker. That's true. Donald is massively obsessed with the economy and bringing all of manufacturing back to the United States, which is what's tanking their economy right now. Because it's impossible for you to overnight try and bring back all of the manufacturing jobs to the United States. He's screwing the U.S. over. It would take billions of dollars and years in each company to be able to bring manufacturing back to the United States. So when he's saying with a relentless focus on the American worker, it's not a compliment. He's just pointing out the fact that Donald is like a fucking dog on a bone and he's not doing a good job. Securing your borders. Yeah, he's obsessed with kicking out all the immigrants. Again, that is not a compliment. He's just pointing out the fact that Donald's obsessed with immigration and the borders. Ending the scourge of fentanyl. That's a joke. Okay? The scourge of fentanyl? What fucking fentanyl? There's no problem with fentanyl in Canada. Now, there is one in Mexico because they had a massive drug bust that was all stuff coming from Mexico. They haven't had a massive drug bust from Canada because there is no fucking flow of fentanyl into the United States. So he's again mocking Trump, the scourge of fentanyl, and other opioids, and securing the world. Yeah, you know how Donald Trump secured the world? Because the rest of the world decided, oh, great, so the United States is fucked up now under Donald Trump, so the rest of us are going to have to together and figure out how to secure the world ourselves. So he's thanking Donald Trump for convincing everybody else to get together and secure the world and boost their military spending and all that stuff. Again, none of that said anything nice about Donald Trump. Not a single word. He didn't say doing a good job at ending the scourge of fentanyl. He didn't say the good job about securing the world. He didn't say anything good whatsoever in that little bit. Then he goes on to say, I have been elected with my colleagues here, with the help of my colleagues here. I'm going to spread the credit to transform Canada with a similar focus on the economy, securing our borders again on fentanyl. So he said he's spreading the credit. He didn't say to who. He didn't say to Donald Trump. He just said he's going to spread the credit. Now, considering he just mentioned his colleagues, he's probably talking about them. Much greater focus on defense and security and securing the Arctic and developing Arctic. He's bragging about how Canada is now boosting our military, telling Donnie that guess what? Soon we're not going to fucking need you at all. Our military is going to be better. And while we're securing the Arctic, which is a key area that Donald Trump, by the way, wants, because he knows that it's strategically a strategic place militarily, Carney's throwing it in his face that that's our area and we're securing it and we're building up our military right now. So again, no compliments there. Now Carney's just throwing it in Donald Trump's face about what we're doing with our military. And then he says the history of Canada and the U.S. is that we're stronger when we work together. That's a good point. He's not saying we're strong right now or anything like that. He's just pointing out the fact that under previous presidents, we were strong when we worked together. And there are many opportunities to work together, and I look forward to addressing some of those issues we have. Yeah, he's pointing to Trump right now. Hey, we've got fucking issues and we need to deal with them. And also finding those areas of mutual cooperation so we can go forward. He's telling Trump that they need to move past their bullshit and move forward and cooperate. Again, none of that was complimentary. The most you had was thank you for your hospitality and we have worked together great in the past. Those are the only two compliments given there. So please tell me how any of that was genuine praise and admiration. And then when Donald Trump brought up the 51st state, he told him that some things, as he knows in retail, because Donald Trump's a real estate guy, right? That you got to talk his language because then he feels like you're, on his level and that you're smart. That's another thing. Donald Trump loves smart guys. He actually is enamored with Carney because he wants to be buddy with him because he's a smart guy and he knows economy and all that stuff. So Carney purposely said, well, in real estate that some things are not for sale. So he's talking to Donald on a level that Donald of course. Yeah, we're both real estate guys. Yeah. Right? We're both business guys. So he's playing Donald by saying that. And he's like, so there's some things not for sale, Buckingham Palace, and he's like, and I've talked to the citizens of Canada, letting him know, like all Canadians are pretty much on the same page that we don't want to be the 51st state. And he said, Canada's not for sale. And then, and while he's saying about how some things are not for sale, Donald Trump goes, well, that's true. And then when Donald Trump said, never say never, Carney looked at the cameras and went, never. He embarrassed Trump when he did that. He didn't look at Trump because Trump's like, oh, we'll never say never. Huh? And then Carney looked at all of those reporters in the room and all of the people at home watching and went, never, ever. And it was clear that he said that. He didn't need to say it to Donald Trump's face. Because the thing is, it doesn't matter what you say to Donald Trump. Donald Trump is going to freaking just think whatever the hell he wants. You can't tell Donald Trump no. Because he's just going to be like, oh, well, Because he's a rich guy that has never understood that term. He doesn't believe in the word no. He thinks he can just buy everything and get everything he wants. So by Carney looking at that camera and saying never, ever, ever, he embarrassed Trump. He mocked Trump. And Trump doesn't see that, doesn't get it, does not understand that. That's what Carney did. So none of what happened in that meeting was Carney praising or showing admiration for fucking Trump. And I'm sorry that you can't see that or a bunch of other people can't see that, but it was pretty fucking obvious to the rest of us that have a damn brain.